will have time for questions at the end, and we will take those by text. So there is a chat section on your attendee panel. You can send us messages there for us to answer at the end of the presentation. I do encourage you, if you have questions that are super specific to your agency, please hold those and send us an email or give us a call. So, just to go ahead and get started, I assume most of you have some understanding of what the National WIC Association is, or else you wouldn't have been able to register for this webinar. But NWA works to assure healthy pregnancies and healthy babies, getting young children ready to learn. We are the education arm and advocacy voice of America's more than 12,000 service providers and the nearly 7.5 million mothers and young children that we serve. NWA is a nonprofit membership association. That means we are separate from the United States Department of Agriculture. We run for our members, and what we do is created in partnership with our members. NWA is governed by a volunteer board of directors, and we have an annual business meeting each year at the annual conference. We are a very small team in Washington, D.C. Here is a quick list. So Douglas Greenway is our president and CEO. He has been at the National WIC Association for, I think, about 27 years. I may be a bit wrong on that. If you've ever been to one of our conferences, you have likely seen him. Cecilia Richardson is the Staff and Nutrition Program Director. She has also been here for quite a while. She leads the staff, supervises all of the staff at the National WIC Association, and always also keeps tabs on anything that's happening nutrition-related in the WIC program. Darlene Birch is a public health nutritionist. She comes to us from Maryland WIC as well as a local agency and the state agency in Arizona. So she has a lot of on-the-ground WIC experience, which is really helpful for our organization. Brenda Bonilla is the newest addition to our staff as of about a week and a half ago. If you call into our office, she will be the first person you speak to. Elisa Vett does public policy for the organization. She spends a lot of time on Capitol Hill and keeping tabs on everything that's happening in the WIC policy world and in the policy world that is tangential to WIC. Pierre Francois is our office manager. Many of you have probably seen him at conferences or interacted with him in some way over the last many years. Next up on this list is Emily Belcher. She is the membership coordinator, and you will be hearing from her in just a couple of minutes to learn more about what membership entails at the National WIC Association. Queenie Harris runs the CDC grant that we have had for the past nearly 3 years with the Community Partnerships and Healthy Mothers and Children project. Samika Jennings runs all of our conferences and other educational opportunities. Georgia Mitchell is the Research and Evaluation Manager. If you've ever received this Research to Practice, our quarterly newsletter, that was a brainchild of Georgia Mitchell. Natalie Malloy is our Communications and Reporting Assistant. She is responsible for many things at National WIC Association, including sending Monday morning report every week. And finally, you've got me, Hannah Schultz. I am the Communications, Media, and Marketing Coordinator. And I am going to turn it over to Emily Belcher to talk a little bit more about what membership is and what it means for our association.
Hi everyone, this is Emily Belcher. I'm the membership coordinator here at NWA. We are a membership organization, and that means that without you, our members, we would not exist. And we exist for you and to support you and the WIC program. We have several kinds of membership, state agency members, local agency members. We have a sustaining/industry member, section, which is businesses whose missions align with NWA's and who are there to support the program as well. And then we have a handful of individual members. So overall, we have about 1,200 agencies, companies, and individual members who work together as a network. We have many membership benefits. One thing to note is that anytime an agency or a company joins, everyone who's on staff is invited to receive membership benefits. So it's not just for whoever signed up, for everyone who works there. We offer discounts for national conferences and exhibiting opportunities. Our communications team and various other members of our team work hard to put out e-newsletters on a regular basis. You probably are familiar with your Monday morning reports, Washington updates, and then with research to practice, which Hannah mentioned a few minutes ago. We also have an online community where we host our webinars, which you are familiar with if you're on this webinar, and other discussion groups to help with networking and communication. We offer free job postings on our website for members, as well as in our Monday morning report. We're on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and we have a blog. Obviously, our staff that Hannah introduced you to is available to you as well. And then finally, we invite you to serve on our committees and task forces and work with our board of directors to influence policy and work to support work together. If you're interested in reviewing our benefits and joining, finding out more, then you can go onto our website under the membership tab, and it's pretty straightforward. Of course, please also feel free to reach out to me with questions at any time.
All right. Thank you for that, Emily. I'm going to turn it over to Tamika Jennings next to talk a bit more about some of our educational opportunities that we have. Tamika is another newcomer to our staff. She started at the end of 2016, so she has done 2 conferences with us already and is planning, I think, like the next 4 or 5 years at once right now. So if you haven't had the opportunity to meet Tamika, I hope you come to one of our upcoming conferences and get to know her.
Hi everyone, I am excited to be able to offer you all professional development educational opportunities through the National Association. We offer 4 in-person events in our conference portfolio. I will go in order of the PowerPoint. We have a Washington Leadership Conference that provides a forum to discuss federal issues affecting the health and nutritional well-being of weight mothers and young children, as well as service delivery and the management of the program. The Washington Leadership Conference is held annually in D.C. If you have a pen and paper, you can write down next year. I will provide you all of these. The first conference will be held March 4th through 7th next year at the Westin Georgetown. One of our larger events, our annual conference, we hold every year in the springtime. It is a 4-day conference where we offer just an abundance of educational opportunities, topics to discuss, and it's really a place where you can kind of be revitalized and energized in your career. We offer great speakers as well as sessions and exhibitors, so you can meet with the business council partners and family members that Emily just referenced, people that really want to work with you and support the weight community. We are offering that next year will be held in Chicago, Illinois. It's going to be the date April 22nd through 25th. And after that, we have a nutrition, education, marketing, and promotion conference. That conference is held biannually in every season year, and so we just actually signed a contract for that. For next year, it's going to be held in New Orleans, which is very exciting. the Nutrition and Education and Marketing Conference is one of our largest conferences. It has about 1,200 people, and it's really for everyone participating in with nutrition and marketing professionals, specifically covers education and opportunities for everyone to kind of learn what's going on in the nutrition, correct eating, research policy, best practices area. And last but not least, in the conferences in person, the events that we offer, we have our technology conference, the swimming. It's a mouthful, the Technology Program Integrity Management Education and Networking Conference. And that is held biannually as well in every every odd year. So that is coming up in September of this year. It's going to be September 25th through 28th in Memphis, Tennessee. And that conference is specifically going to be discussing technological and program integrity, innovation, EDC, and adoption or waste in the future. So if you're looking towards teachers as an agency or state level, you will be able to learn best practices from other organizations or agencies that have implemented them. So those are in-person conferences. We have just started a webinar series where we're hoping our calendar is pretty full. Thursday at 3 o'clock. Remember this. NWA will more than likely always have a webinar offered. We had a webinar today. We're doing about NWA. The first Thursday of every month, the National Association will be hosting some sort of webinar to kind of just allow you to get to know us as a staff and us as an organization so you can be up to date about what we are offering, what we're doing within the WIC community. We also are going to offer recruitment and retention webinars every second Thursday, at least every second Thursday. Have that up. And I'm going to look at him so she can say more about what the recruitment and retention webinars will share.
Sure, thanks, Tanika. So we have been hearing from our members some questions about how to do more outreach, and also we've been hearing about some of the great work that many of the agencies, both at the local and state level, are doing to keep people on the longer or bring more people to it, or building stronger partnerships with community organizations and healthcare providers. So we will be talking each month about a different topic that falls under the broad recruitment and retention umbrella. Upcoming topics include building strong community partnerships, keeping people on WIC and keeping children on WIC until age 5, engaging dads, and we have some other topics coming up. So please be on the lookout. The Monday morning report each week has the schedule for all of the currently scheduled webinars.
Thank you. And we also will have webinars dedicated to advocacy, and you will hear a little bit more from Lisa shortly, but I'm going to see if she wants to quickly share what people will learn about the advocacy webinars briefly.
Okay, hi everyone, this is Lisa. So on the advocacy webinars, we're hoping to cover some really basic topics about WIC policy, and then some of the same things that are usually covered at our annual leadership conference. So how to be a strong WIC messenger, how to tailor WIC messages to different audiences, and basically how to lift up your voice for WIC in a way that's really effective, and different strategies that you can use. And so that will be covered in our advocacy webinar too.
Thanks, Elizabeth. I'm putting all of my coworkers on fire. And lastly, we're also going to have webinars kind of thrown in from our local agency section as well as from our task force team city. So if you are interested in joining us, as Emily referenced in her Monday introduction, you can also help guide what education we will be providing as an organization to your colleagues and constituents. And lastly, under education, I talk a lot, so I apologize. I let you know, we offer an online program that is a leadership academy. We offer a 4-course certification program that is designed to assist with organizations that develop leadership skills and update skills of current leaders that you may have. So each course It's 8 weeks long. It's all done online. I think it's asked for dedicated about 2 hours per week. There are a few written assignments, but the goal is to really assist you as a supporter of WIC and the agencies to really just provide you with skills to become a leader in the WIC community. The Leadership Academy does come at a cost. The member rate is $2,000 for the entire course, or $500 for each course. And so if you'd like more information, we are actually about to open up some for 6 in August, so you can register now, or you can contact me, Shamika, for more details about anything related to education and events. Okay, Dennis?
Thank you, Shamika. And just one extra comment on the webinars. We are creating all of these for you, so if there's a topic that you are interested in learning more about, please get in touch and suggest a webinar topic for us. And now I'm going to turn it over to Elizabeth to talk more about all of the advocacy work that NWA does. And by all, I mean we're going to scratch the surface a little bit.
Hi, everyone. I've been told that this is very high level, so this is by no means an exhaustive list of advocacy activities that we engage in, but this should give you a pretty good view of some of our daily activities when it comes to public policy. So as far as representing WIC on Capitol Hill, every year we work with our NWA Legislative Committee, which is composed of local agency representatives and state agency representatives to develop our legislative acts. So when we go to Capitol Hill, we really want to make sure that the acts are coming from the WIC community, so coming from frontline staff. So we have a very kind of open-ended conversation with our legislative committee to decide what the needs are, and then we use those needs to develop our legislative priorities and acts each year. Then we bring these to Capitol Hill and we target key offices, and I've listed some of the committees that we target, but they include the Appropriations Committees and the Senate Agriculture Committee, as well as the House Education and Workforce Committee. And when we meet with these offices, we present our acts, we answer any questions that the office may have, and we engage in strategic policy discussions about WIC. And we also develop and maintain strong relationships with these key offices as well as committee and subcommittee staff. At USDA, National Association staff work closely with staff at the Supplemental Food Programs Division at FNS. We submit comments to USDA when there are calls for public comment. We advocate on behalf of our members to FNS, so this is really when new policies come out from FNS or new regulations, and there are concerns with those regulations that we hear from our members, we communicate those to FNS to make sure that they're aware. Something that isn't on this slide, but we do encourage FNS to participate in all of our conferences, and we do usually give them a platform to do a town hall presentation for our members at our conferences. Some of those are not open to all conference attendees, some are just open to state directors, but we really try and act as a facilitator between USDA and our members, so that when USDA has new policies, we act as a kind of conveyor of those policies and that guidance from USDA to our members. And then on the other end, we also try and really hear what concerns are coming out of the WIC community and communicate those to FNS. We also participate in joint meetings with USDA and other national stakeholders on key policy and regulatory topics. So through national partners, NWA participates on a number of national coalitions focusing on topics such as child nutrition, food policy, and combating hunger. We cultivate strong partnerships with national organizations to advocate for and promote WIC. And I've listed some examples here. Again, this is by no means an exhaustive list. This is just a few. So we partner strongly with AAP, ACOG, Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, Moms Rising, and others. We work hard to educate our partners about current WIC policy issues and NWA's legislative priorities, and we engage our partners in WIC advocacy campaigns. And collectively, with our national partners, we have a much stronger voice for WIC on Capitol Hill and with USDA. So through member engagement, we provide education and training, which some of my colleagues have already touched on, about WIC policy and how to be a strong WIC messenger. We provide advocacy materials for members to use, so these can be in the form of fact sheets and position papers and other materials. We provide guidance and support to members who are planning to meet with their elected officials. So if one of our members is not feeling confident in going into a meeting with their representative or maybe a local elected official, we will provide talking points and guidance for going into those meetings. And we also lead grassroots advocacy campaigns on key WIC policy issues. And that's it.
All right. Thank you for that, Elizabeth. Sorry about that noise. I'm not so well. So one of the biggest things that we do at NWA is to support our members. And we do that in a variety of ways, including communication. So we try to keep you as up to date as we can on what's going on in the WIC world, whether that be WIC policy or other policies that may affect WIC, innovative ideas that some of your colleagues and other agencies may be implementing, new ideas for how to do things. We work really hard to keep you updated on as much information as we can to make sure that you have as much information as possible to do your job. We also provide communication support. So if your agency gets contacted by the press and you need some help, you can always get in touch with our office, specifically me, Hannah, and we will work with you to either we can talk to the media for you, or we can work with you to give you some tips on what to do or talking points. We also are currently in the middle of a huge national outreach campaign, and as part of that, we're working with a lot of agencies to help with your on-the-ground recruitment and retention strategies. So we are available as a resource for you for sharing what you know, but also helping you do what you do better. We also provide a lot of networking support. At all of our conferences, those are great networking opportunities for you to meet and connect with colleagues you haven't seen since the last conference, or get to know some new colleagues. But in between conferences, we also are more than happy to connect you with your colleagues in other states. We often get questions from people and agencies about a new problem they're facing, and if we know what's going on, we can frequently connect with someone else who has already had to deal with that challenge in the past. We provide support through webinars, which Tanika already talked about, so I'm not going to spend too much more time going over that, but just to reiterate, if you have any challenges that you are repeatedly seeing, or think that there is a gap in your knowledge or skills that you think we can help fill, please let us know, and we will try to create a webinar around that. We provide policy support. Elizabeth just went over a lot of what we do, but we're here to help you either understand policy better or help you be an advocate. One of the big things that we do is create fact sheets and position papers. So at the beginning of every year leading up to the Washington Leadership Conference, we update almost all of our fact sheets and position papers. We have state fact sheets, so to give more information about the WIC program in every state agency. And we also have position papers on a variety of topics from children in WIC to breastfeeding, to local agencies, to many other topics, and those are all available on our website. again, if there is a fact sheet that you think is missing, that we need to get in touch with us, and we will consider creating a new fact sheet. So I put a few of our big projects on the screen now. This is by no means an exhaustive list of everything we do. The first item is the Community Partnership for Healthy Mothers and Children project. This was a grant that NWA received from the Centers for Disease Control, and it is actually just finishing up, but it's been going on for nearly 3 years, and we have worked with more than 30 local agencies across the country to work on policy systems and environmental projects to improve WIC in communities and improve specifically access to healthier foods and, every time I need to say this, I say fruits and vegetables, foods and beverages, healthier foods and beverages in communities. And they've done some really innovative things from putting healthier foods on menus in local restaurants to increasing breastfeeding support through communities. You can learn more about those projects at greaterwithwith.org, and we will be doing more to highlight what has been done over the coming months. They are currently working on some videos to highlight the work they've done, and we are really excited to share those when they're complete. And Elisa would like to add something.
And we will also, in line with the webinars that we're offering, there will be a webinar series so that folks who were not, local agencies who are not funded through the project can learn the same skills that were taught to the agencies that were participating. So basically, training to help you launch a community health project in your local community if that is of interest. So that will be coming soon.
All right, thank you. So the next big project that we are currently working on is the National Recruitment and Retention Campaign. And many of you may have been on the webinar we did just a couple of weeks ago giving an update on this campaign. It's a 3-year campaign with the goals of bringing more people to it, keeping families on WIC longer, and improving the overall perception of the program. We are doing this through a variety of channels, including digital advertising, print advertising, and just about every parenting and pregnancy magazine in the country in Spanish and English. Creating materials to connect with healthcare providers, both for the providers and for the families that they serve. And we are just this summer starting to advertise in professional trade publications that doctors and other healthcare professionals read. If you would like to know more about that, I can share the webinar we did a couple of weeks ago, or I am happy to answer any questions you may have. The next big project has been going on for many, many years. It is the annual WIC calendar that Cecilia takes on each year. We have just opened the ordering season for the 2018 calendar. These calendars have a theme every year, and they include tips for eating well, for staying healthy. They also include recipes and other fun facts throughout them. So it's a really fun calendar that can be shared with either in your offices or shared with friends and family. And finally, at least for now, are the online communities that we are in the process of launching. We have a couple set up now, and we are working on expanding so all of our members have access to online communities. These are going to be a place for you all to share your knowledge and expertise and get support from your colleagues across the country. Currently, if you are in a state that is participating in the National Recruitment and Retention Campaign, you have access to that online community. And we have a couple others set up for some of the committees. Within the next few months, we will have online communities set up for everyone working in a local agency, as well as all of our members and everyone working in state agencies, as well as a few additional groups. This will be another great opportunity to network with your colleagues all across the country. So just quickly, I want to touch on some member roles, and Emily may jump in if I leave anything out, as this is more her area that keeps in mind. We have a lot of volunteer opportunities, and those are available on our website. They include conference planning committees. With those conferences that Tamika talked about earlier, those take a lot of work, and we always work with a volunteer committee to get them set up and make sure they are successful. We also have a volunteer board of directors, so if you are interested in being more involved in that, please get in touch with our office. And we also have several committees and task forces that are completely volunteer run. So the current vacancies for all of those are available in the membership section of our website, NWA.org. One of the other really big volunteer opportunities that is super important is we have a lot of work at conferences that we need help with, from stuffing bags to helping get people registered when they arrive to monitoring and moderating the different sessions. So a few weeks, maybe even a couple of months before each conference, we send out a call for volunteers to hope that we can get people to engage on a slightly deeper level with the conferences. And so Nika wants to add something to that.
I do. I realize there's something that is organized within the conferences that is just a perfect segue. Another way you can volunteer is by sharing your knowledge. Something that we do for a majority of our conferences, also the Washington Leadership Conference right now, is we do a call for abstract. And so we definitely invite you to look out for that maybe about 6 to 9 months in advance. We will do a call for abstract. And essentially that's us asking you to participate in the educational portion of the conference for you and your team or anyone that you know can lead our session and share what you were doing in a project that you're doing in your state or your local agency or your community. And so that is something that we definitely encourage you to volunteer for. We will do that call for abstract for the annual conference probably within the next 4 to 6 weeks. So please look out for that, and as part of volunteering for an upcoming conference from Hannah reference for bag stuffing, there will be going on like that next week. So for the technology conference later on here.
Thank you. And we really do encourage everyone to submit abstracts. You may not think that the project or idea you have is relevant to others, but it really may be. I often hear about great ideas that are happening in local agencies and encourage people to submit abstracts, and they just don't think that it's innovative enough or new enough, and it really might be. So if you have any ideas, please let us know. The next membership role that I included here is to stay in touch with our office. We like to know what's going on the ground. It helps us in our work, from planning conferences to advocating on the Hill to helping you all solve problems that arise if we know what's going on. So please let us know what's going on, what challenges you may be facing, what big successes you've had, so that we can better support you and better support your colleagues across the country. Part of that is sharing success stories with us. So in Monday Morning Report, every week we include a thank you of the week, and we get those from member submissions. So if you get a great thank you from one of your WIC families, please send it along to us. And if you have other great stories, we really want to know those as well. We've been doing a local lens highlight in Monday Morning Report to share some of the excellent work that is happening across the country, and we want to be able to continue doing that. We think you all deserve recognition for your work, and we also know that it helps one other agency. And then finally, the annual business meeting takes place at annual conference each year. Not all members are voting members, but we share that information several weeks ahead of time so that people know if they are eligible to vote at the annual business meeting and have to appoint proxies if they aren't able to attend. This is a really important, crucial part of the work we do. Just a couple of examples of big decisions that have been made at business meetings recently include 2015 was a really big year at the business meeting. They passed a resolution to do their recruitment and retention campaign, and voting members also passed a resolution to sever ties with all infant formula manufacturers. So both of those have really changed the way that NWA works and the scope of our work and the projects we are doing. So it's a really important way for members to be involved and make sure that your voice is being heard in the work that the association does. So we are just about wrapped up. This is the contact information for our office. And then you can email any of us at any time. Our email addresses are the first letter of our first name followed by our last name. There's an example for me. You can also, if you're not sure who to contact, you can always contact info@nwica.org. And our website, nwica.org, has all of our contact information. We will open it up for questions in a moment, but before we get there, I just have a few closing comments. So this presentation has been a very high-level overview of the work that we do. We didn't touch on everything, and we could go much more in depth into the things that we did touch on. So if you have additional questions or want to know more or want to be involved in anything, please let us know. Get in touch. Ask any questions you may have. Emily mentioned at the very beginning that when agencies are members, all of their staff are eligible for member benefits and are considered members of the association. So if there are people in your agency who aren't receiving the benefits, please get in touch and we can make sure that they are in our system and appropriately linked so they are eligible for all of those. We often hear that people who are Monday morning reports to everyone in their staff, you don't need to do that. We can just put them on our distribution list to make sure they are getting it. And then finally, we are here for you, so you can use us. Don't recreate the wheel every time you have a new challenge or new project you need to work on. Please feel free to get in touch with us anytime to use the expertise we have in this office or to find out if there are agencies doing similar things or confronting similar challenges in their agencies or regions. So now we will answer questions. If you have questions, please put them in the chat box and we will take them in order. And we have recorded this webinar, so we will be sharing it with everyone who attended, and we will put it on our website. So if you'd like to share it with your colleagues or reference anything down the road, we will have that available. All right, we aren't seeing any. Oh, you know what? We're looking at the questions on another account, but they're coming to me. Personally, we're not seeing this, so just a moment. So we have a request to hear more about the annual conference. So I'll turn that over to Shanika. It is going to be in April, but just as a precursor for her answer, we are not very far into the planning for next year's annual conference. So It may be easiest for me to talk a bit about annual conferences more generally without getting too far into the 2018 conference.
Well, something that we can do before I jump into the 2018 conference is share that we did create a new video that we can share with you all of the 2017 annual conference. You can kind of see the experience that your colleagues had when they attended. But if you have a more specific question, if you can type that in, but I'll try to give a high-level overview of what the conference looks like. This year was my first year experiencing the conference myself. This year, we had a professional football player from the Southern National Football League come and speak with his mother. His mother was going with him as a child, and so we had them tag team and duo and talk about that experience and how that led him to becoming the man he is today, which was a great session. We also offered about 30 concurrent sessions that were led by members of local agencies. Oh, Hannah is so smart. Hannah actually has the video, so you can see it right now.
Our conventions are the perfect way of staying to professional staff related and skills, networking opportunities, particularly it's an opportunity for them to connect with each other, learn what's happening in other states, so they can consider whether or not that's valid to apply in their state.
The National League Association does a great job providing different topics and speakers. I mean, whether it's related to breastfeeding, whether it's related to nutrition education, even management. Oh gosh, which sessions I want to go to?
There's always some new little quick stuff to find out. Like right now, one of the big issues is chemical building. And so far, I have been to, I think, 2 sessions that dealt with that. They definitely give me an opportunity to learn the trust in the system. It also gives me the opportunity to learn the best practices in breastfeeding. So they do give me a lot of insight.
Well, what I hear from attendees when they come by the booth is they just really like the opportunity to have fresh ideas on how to bring more students forward. When I hear those comments, then I think that engagement is happening, those aha moments are happening, and that's what this is all about.
I've often found like trying to conferences and speak to people can be a way to learn what needs people have and then customize products based on ideas.
Someone will come to the booth, I'll learn a little bit about what's frustrating them. I'll go back to the office and see if I can find a solution. We exchange cards, I find back. So it's a really great opportunity to get a connection you couldn't find otherwise.
One of the great gifts that these conferences offer is the opportunity to give some cost discipline. And that doesn't happen in any setting.
Conferences provide the opportunity for us to engage with each other. When you're in the work setting, it's different because, you're at your desk and you have to really respond to the demands of everyday life. Whereas in here, even though it's full work, but it's at a different level. It's in a more relaxed atmosphere.
It's awesome. These conferences make it more awesome. Gives you the energy that you need to go back home and work with the families that are waiting for you.
We do so much for healthy birth outcomes and for the health of the nation.
And I was really saying, hooray!
I hope that provides like an overview of what you can expect at our annual conference and really any of our conferences. I hope that does answer your question.
Sorry about that. It says YouTube does have on playing. If we have any other questions, we're happy to take them. We'll give it just a couple of minutes. Thank you to everyone who did join us. We hope this has been helpful in highlighting some more of the work we do. We know through conversations and through some surveys we've done that many people are very familiar with some of what NWA does, but is not as familiar with the full scope of our work. So we hope that we've done a little bit to shed some light on on more of our projects that you may not know about. Alright, I don't see any more questions coming in, so I'm going to go ahead and end the webinar now, but again, many thanks for joining us. A question to display webinar date. I'm going to turn to Natalie. Is the best way to show those through the online page?
Yeah, so this is regarding the upcoming date.
Yeah, so we can show it by month. Then here is the July and August webinars that are scheduled. Oh, I'm not even sharing it. I'm sorry. I'm looking at it on my screen. All right, so here are the webinars that are currently scheduled. But just as an FYI, we do have more webinars than this scheduled. I believe we have every Thursday at 3 o'clock through the end of 2017 scheduled. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So we will be putting more and more of those on this calendar as time comes, and they will also be going out in Monday morning reports each week. When in doubt, just assume there is a webinar at 3 o'clock Eastern time on Thursday. The webinar has been recorded, and we will be sharing it by email with all of the people who registered. We know it's a busy vacation time, so a lot of people who registered were unable to join. We will also be putting it on our website, so it will be available. All right, great question.